What's going on, everybody? I'm Matt.
And I'm Vanessa.
And today we're going to be talking about Christopher Nolan's war epic, Dunkirk. Which stars Kenneth Branagh, Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance, Cillian Murphy, Jack Lowden, and Fionn Whitehead. And it tells the story of the Allied forces trapped at the beaches of Dunkirk, France. Surrounded by German forces with only the English Channel separating them from home, the Allied troops fight for survival and hope for a miracle. And while it may not be time for a history lesson, it is time to believe the hype.
Wow.
In my opinion, this is Christopher Nolan's best film to date. Yes, I do love Batman. I'm a Batman fanatic, and I love The Dark Knight, but there is no denying the power and majesty behind Dunkirk.
It's filmed so beautifully, and it's beautiful and heartbreaking, and
it's a technical masterpiece, if nothing else. Kind of to cut to the chase, I don't want to spend too much time talking about the cast. The cast is loaded.
It's loaded, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, and there are other actors that I didn't even list off at the very beginning that are in this film, and everybody just does a great job. But to me, this movie is not so much about the acting as much as it is about the story and the film that Christopher Nolan created, which is something spectacular. And I will say that it is told in three different angles, three different points of view. It's
Christopher Nolan going to Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
which we love. If you've seen Interstellar,
Memento,
exactly.
You know that he likes to play around with time and jump around a little bit. Well, he does that here. He tells a story from the land, the sea, and the air, and sometimes you actually relive certain events, but from a whole different perspective.
It's a different perspective, and he kind of describes it a little bit where, the land is the week. They could have been there for a week. Then the water is a day, and then the air, because they only have gas,
an hour.
They only have enough fuel for 1 hour in those airplanes. So,
but still, somehow
they
these
interlock
storylines,
these stories. It's so interesting to see the different perspectives of similar events or the same events, similar, the same.
Yeah, and this movie is only, I believe it's an hour and 47 minutes long, and it wastes no time. Right from the very beginning, this movie drops you into the action, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't really let up.
It doesn't, and what I like about it is there's no backstory, so there's no filler.
No.
And so they're just using the music, they're using the action, and they're using the very limited dialogue to tell you this story, make you feel for this story.
Yeah, and really you don't get a whole lot of backstory on, not so much, well, I don't know if you were talking about the people, but you don't really get the backstory on Dunkirk either. Mm-hmm. You get some blurbs, some lines at the very beginning of the movie kind of describing things, but you don't fully... It's not so much about how they got there or how they're trying to escape or where the German forces are even coming from. You don't even really see the Germans in the film. It's more about certain individuals struggle to survive.
It's a survival movie.
It's a survival movie, and it's also a movie about heroism and bravery and how people respond in certain situations that are you can't even fathom. You can't even imagine. And it all works. It's all pretty amazing.
It all works.
And this movie is so intense. I mean, as the film goes along, the tension just mounts and mounts and mounts. By the end of the film, I was biting my lip and grabbing wherever I could on my body. Like, no!
Nail biting.
Don't do it! But seriously, I cannot remember the last time a movie really made me just want to grab the armchairs and just...
And Christopher Nolan does such a good job. He wrote and directed the film, and you get the sense that it is directed or it is written by Christopher Nolan in this movie, because for one, it's filmed beautifully.
It's an amazing film to look at.
It's also the cinematographer, which he is fantastic. He was also the same cinematographer Christopher Nolan used for Interstellar.
Yes, and
fantastic.
I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. I apologize if you want to
I'm
try
not
to take a
going
shot
to
at it. That's
attempt
all I need.
it.
But no, this movie is so beautiful. There were so many shots where I was just like, wow. And it didn't matter what was happening around, which sounds kind of bad, but I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe... the shots are amazing. The way that it's filmed is unbelievable. I mean, I read reviews talking about, you know, the dogfight scenes, the scenes with the Spitfire planes, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, we'll see. I did see.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
They don't use green screens. They
No.
don't do a whole lot of CGI. They use over 1,000 extras for certain scenes.
And actually dug up ships and planes from the area.
Which is fantastic.
And filmed it on Dunkirk.
On Dunkirk. And they used film, 70 millimeter film, which is the last movie to do it would have been The Hateful Eight.
Yes. And also, kudos to Christopher Nolan. This movie is rated PG-13, but don't let that fool you. Just because this movie is not a bloodbath does not mean that you don't experience the horror, the terror, the fear, the panic, everything that goes along with the story, because trust me, you do. And it's more a nod to how he filmed it. He puts you in every single scene. It's like you are right there experiencing everything with these people.
It is the way I see it is you feel the emotion of war.
Yes.
If war was an emotion, you feel it watching this movie.
Yeah, and to me the emotions are raw and intimate because you are so close to these people. And which actually brings me to one side point. I'm not going to rant. I promise I'm not going to rant. But I just wanted to touch on this. If you're like me, and I read a lot of movie reviews, the negative reviews surrounding this film are that you don't actually follow one individual character, and you don't get any backstory. You don't find out, hey, they were born here and they're married to so-and-so, and by the way, when they were a kid, they loved doing this, and they wanted to be an astronaut, but now they're on the beach of Dunkirk trying to survive. You don't get any of that, but that does not mean that this movie does not have any emotion or make you feel for these people, because you feel every darn thing they go through.
And the intensity of this movie is probably driven by the angst of the time. How much time do you have?
Yeah.
How much time do you are stranded. All you have is the beach, the water, planes are coming and bombing. There's just how much time do you have? And what are you willing to do to survive?
Yeah, and death could be around the corner at any moment. Yeah, I don't think you do. And especially when you're following them through certain events and you don't know when the Germans are going to attack or where they're going to come from. They're coming, you can't even see them, but they're storming the beach from somewhere beyond the dunes, and planes are dropping out of the sky from nowhere. It's torpedoes.
And I really appreciate the fact that they don't show you the Germans or the Nazis. They don't show you any of them, because this isn't filmed from that perspective.
No.
It's filmed from the beaches, the soldiers on Dunkirk.
And to me, it actually makes it that more terrifying.
Yes.
Because actually, now I'm thinking about it, you never see a German soldier. You see the planes, you see the torpedoes, you hear the gunshots. Do you ever see a German in a Nazi uniform? No, not once in the whole film, and yet you're still absolutely petrified anytime something happens.
You feel what these soldiers felt sitting on the beach. They don't see the person sitting in the cockpit. They don't see that.
Yeah.
They just hear the plane, and they hear the bombs.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is a very powerful film. It's a beautiful film as much as it is heartbreaking and terrifying. And it's just a testament to where Christopher Nolan is at in his career and what he's able to do with such a story like this. An amazing true story.
Yes.
So, to me, it's one of the best war films ever made, and to me, it's also the best film of the year so far. I'm giving it an A+.
A+.
Yeah, I don't really have any negative comments on this film. It's unbelievable. It's big, it's loud.
Very loud.
And
loud.
And it has to be seen. Absolutely, it has to be seen. So, with that in mind, of course, if you have already seen it, I'd love to know what you thought about it down below. Please.
Yes.
Because we absolutely loved it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to see more of our beautiful but horrifying movie reviews, yes, hit the subscribe button.
Explosive movie reviews.
There we go. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you guys next time.